G'day, I'm Steve Irwin, and whatever you see me do on this show, never ever try, because I'm going to be dealing with the most venomous snakes in North America. We're going to travel right across North America with some of the fastest, deadliest and wildest snakes. In the southwestern deserts, we check out the fearsome reputation of the Mojave rattlesnake. We get right into the amazing den of western diamondbacks at Cochise's stronghold.
In California, up close with the magnificently camouflaged speckled rattlesnake. We rescue a southern Pacific rattler who's got himself into deep water.
In Florida, we encounter the biggest rattlesnake of them all, the legendary eastern diamondback.
The pygmy rattler proves that size isn't everything when it comes to self-defense. And in the Appalachians, a close call with a massive timber rattler. We start our adventure in America's rattlesnake heartland, the state of Arizona. 11 species of rattlesnake live in Arizona, more than any other state. But to find the deadliest of them all, you really have to search remote and rugged country way off the beaten track. We'll bring these beautiful and misunderstood snakes right up close and personal.
This is prime territory for the Mojave rattler, probably the most dangerous rattlesnake in North America. I spot one down in a gully, and we gotta move quick because they'll disappear in the flick of a tongue. Oh, you're all right, mate. You're all right, buddy. Woo! Have a look at this. This is the famous Mojave rattlesnake. What a little pearler. I have a bit of trouble telling Mojaves from Westerns, but this is definitely a Mojave. Now, Mojaves are the most venomous of the North American rattlers. They got a really potent venom. In fact, it's 20 times more toxic than a western diamondback. Sweetheart, can you get me a stick? Yeah. Oh, you're all right, mate. How's that? He's got me, he's sensed me, he knows exactly where I am, and he's angry. Look at him.
Here's a couple.
Thanks, mate, this one will do just fine. He's poised, ready to strike. Now, as an example of how deadly the Mojave is, they actually claim more human fatalities in the state of Arizona than any other snake species. Let's just see if I can position him a bit better. Just gonna try and gently, No, he's holding firm. He's S-ed up into that standard S position like rattlers get, tailing close to his head. He's going to strike. There's no way I could get a glove on him. No way, no one. And these guys are toxic. Really toxic. We might just leave him right where he is. Look at that. Right behind us in the scrub, we see ritualised combat, rarely ever seen. This is two male diamondbacks. They've come together in a snake wrestling match to compete for a good-looking girl. How's that ritualised combat? We want to share with you the beauty of rattlesnakes. They're fascinating animals, not evil serpents. And in this wrestling match, they never hurt each other. There's never any blood flow. They're gorgeous.
What an experience to witness one of the rattlesnake's most spectacular behaviors.
This is cactus country. The deserts of the Southwest have some of the biggest concentrations of rattlesnakes anywhere. And fewer people means there's more space for rattlers to live without confrontation with people. Our search for more species takes us further south to the part of Arizona where the Indian leader Cochise made his stronghold. It's on the wild side of Tombstone. And in a dry creek bed, this should be the perfect place to find the western diamondback. Like most of the rattlesnakes, these guys love a really dry environment. And the western diamondback has got one heck of a reputation. Whip snake.
Where?
It's a Sonoran whip, sitting in the mouth of the cave, look. Have a look at this. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful animal. Glorious. It's just coming out, trying to get the first bit of sun. Rattle! It's coming from up the creek. It sounds like a big one. Woo! It's a western diamondback. Wow, it's a big one too. This place is crawling with snakes. Gonna have to be really careful here. Just getting out in the open. This is a beauty. It's a big one. Oh, he's fat. Really fat. Just watch out, sweetheart. I just want to get out here into the open. Okay. Let's just see if I can get him. Oh, listen to him hissing. Have a look at this. When the snakes are on, they're on. That cave there.
You watch him, he's getting a beat on your hands.
Just in that cave there, we got the Sonoran whip snake. And then right next door, this western diamondback. Have a look at him. He's grumpy. Now, he hissed at me before. I've never heard a rattler do that. This is more the standard rattler. Look at him. He's arced right up. I just gently manipulated by the tail to get him back out here where we can deal with him. In that shrubbery, up against that creek bank, I wouldn't have stood a chance. There's no way we could have got a camera in there or we could have got to him at all. He just would have struck out. Now you can see that position he's in that S-bend. He'd be able to strike out half his body length easily. Mouth open, full tilt. Now the rattler can strike at 150 to 175 miles per hour. That's quicker than a Mike Tyson punch. Real quick, and I tell you what, more potent than a Tyson punch. I'd sooner get hit in the head by Mike Tyson than hit on the leg by this thing. He's got huge venom glands, and that S position is classic. Absolutely amazing. And see how his tongue's coming back over his head? He's able to sense where I am, no matter where I move. Come on in, mate. Just move back a bit, Anthony. Come on in, mate. Now, if I can just get him to... I'll just gently prod him along. Now, see where he's stretched out like that? I should be able to just very gently hold him by the tail like that. Now, you can see, very easy to manipulate. Really easy. Ah, look, you're all right, mate. You're all right, buddy. There he is. You're all right, mate. Ooh, he's hissing and using his tongue.
There's another one. Swear. No.
It's another western diamondback. Watch it, babe, watch it. How's this? We've got onto a den of western diamondbacks. Just feet up from the other snake, here's a den. You little beauty. Hey, Ted, give me a stick.
Got it. Got one.
Nice green flexible one, mate.
Yep.
Unreal. Oh, there's two in here. There's three. I can see four tails.
No
it's a den.
way.
This is a den. Oh, have a look at this. This is a den. Western diamondbacks get up into den, and this is a classic example, the first den of my entire life. Have a look at this. Rat poo. Chock-a-block the whole floor. It's just a bed of rat poo, fine grass. Oh, woo, you should see the size of these snakes. They're massive, huge. I'm just going to try and get a few prickles out of my pants. They bite worse than the rattlers. I'm just going to see if I can manipulate one out. Come on, buddy. Here we go. Woo-hoo-hoo. Have a look at the size of this. What a beauty. Come on, mate. Holy smokes. Look at this. Have a look at this. Look at the size of that. That is a big western diamondback. What a ripper. Look at him. He's quite cool to the touch. What a ripper. This is what it's all about. This is the rattlesnakes we've been looking for in a den. This is a western diamondback. I tell you what, they don't come much bigger than this. He'd be a bit over 5 foot in length. Really fat. Have a look at his big buffy head. not a nasty bone in his body. It's because he's cool. He's been back in that den. Look at the size of his head. Have a look at that. What a beauty. This is a ripper. Sweetheart, I'm going to see if I can get one of those females. Can you just hang on to this one?
Yep.
Gently now, just keep it tail there. If it starts to wiggle too much, just gently restrain it.
Okay.
Wow. Holy smokes.
Keep an eye on this one now.
Look at that. Oh, wow, this is sensational. Absolutely sensational. This is a female. That one there's a big old male. You curl up there, sweetheart. Oh. I can't believe this. Welcome to the United States of America. People think rattlers are evil, ugly monsters. They're not. They're beautiful animals. And a den site. In all my days, I never thought I'd see it. Unbelievable. This is fantastic. You can see how easy it is to take a rattlesnake to near extinction. Real easy. A collector or someone that wants to kill rattlesnakes, find a den, boom, blow it up, or catch them all out. You can see how easy it is. And then that area is destroyed because they're quite territorial. All of these rattlers are going up into this den up in there, and that'll be their hideout for the winter, and then they'll slowly start to move out. This male and female, pretty soon they're going to start going into ritualized combat and mating, and they're going to produce young. I've heard that rattlesnakes, wherever they're born, they'll go back to the same area, back to the same den. So if you destroy this, or you kill these big old adults, you're really upsetting the ecosystem. Oh, you're going to strike at me. Look at that. Oh, you're a good snake. It feels cornered. It feels threatened. The most important thing about rattlesnakes is they won't muck with you if you don't muck with them.
We're moving into the Arizona high country and the home of the black-tailed rattlesnake. The reason there are so many different species of rattlesnake in one region is they've all evolved slightly differently to take advantage of all the varied environments.
The higher we get, the harder it gets to traverse. A good four-wheel drive enables us to get right up into the high country where we get into a whole new, different set of species. You know, mine shafts and caves are a favoured spot for rattlesnakes. Have a look at this tear.
Wow, it's yellow.
Well, you're heading back into your den, mate.
Ooh.
This is a black-tailed rattlesnake. Have a look at the coloration. Look at that beautiful gold coloration with the black pattern on his back. This is a male. He's just sunning himself out in front of this mine shaft. Me, I find mine shafts more dangerous than rattlers. Rescue teams have all sorts of problems with people who enter into mine shafts. You have cave-ins, they fall down. This guy just wants to go back inside. He's warm to the touch. His den will be in here. Now, one of the most amazing things with the blacktails is the male will actually stand guard. He'll protect his territory, protect his female. Can I leave you with this one? Just get yourself a stick, sweetheart.
Okay, let me grab a stick.
I'm just going to duck back in there. I'll bet you he's got a female right in there.
In Arizona, the black-tailed rattlesnake is found throughout the mountainous areas. Well, what's amazing is we're at nearly 9,000 feet where we found this guy. It actually snows here. So he's going to utilize the mine shaft in order to help himself thermoregulate. He'll come out and sun himself and go back in. In the summer, it's very cool in there, and in the winter, it provides some shelter. Now, he's not too angry. You can see his rattle there's not going because I'm handling him very gently, and he is one of the most handsome and striking snakes I've seen.
You're a good little girl. Come on, then. Come on, sweetheart.
just gorgeous. Wow.
Here she is. I'm coming around this side.
Okay,
Let him go, mate.
I'll just set him down.
Just watch out, this girl is really fire.
Okay.
You see, I've just used a stick there to gently manipulate her out. Now, she's a bit more drab in coloration. She's been impregnated, she's been fertilised by the male, and she's probably got a belly full of babies.
Whoa. She means business.
Woo! She's a little grumpy, and that's just fine. She's got a belly full of babies, and rattlers, they give birth to live young. Fascinating. Quite an epic in evolution. Have a look at the difference. The drab female, she's poised, eh? She's fired. She's like right on me. And you can see the male here. He's a lot more yellow.
Don't take your eyes off this girl.
There's the difference in the two colours. I tell you what, if I was a male rattlesnake, this bloke here, he'd go straight into combat mode. Have a look at the female. She is in the full tilt S position, tail going flat out. Couldn't get anywhere near her. He's a lot bigger than her. One of the most amazing things with the black-tailed rattlesnakes is the females have been recorded to defend their babies up to their first shedding of skin. So which could take, I guess, up to a couple of weeks, maybe even a month. So she'll guard them. Beautiful social structure. Take this guy back in. It's very important that I don't upset nature's balance. So I'm going to put them right back into their den so they can curl up, because this is a little bit of stress on them. Here you go.
Well, she's really got a bead on me.
You're going to have to give me a bit of distance, mate.
Yep, I'll clear that.
Come on, sweetheart, I'm going to put you back in your den. Oh, look at her. You gotta love him. You gotta love him. She's a little bit pregnant. Come on now. Just gonna very gently use this stick to support her body. She's so angry, she's stiff as a board. Here she goes. Come on, girl. There you go, lovers. Oh! They're still rattling back there. Aren't they great? And that female had one last swing at me to make sure I ran away. She's got a belly full of babies. Of course she's going to be a little bit grumpy, disturbing her back there. But the thing I'd really like to emphasise is that male, he was already trying to get away from us before we even got up to this mine shaft. Mine shafts are deadly. They're dangerous. Black-tailed rattlesnakes are naturally quick to get out of humans' way. No danger. He will defend his territory and his girl against other male rattlesnakes only.
We're moving into Southern California. This boulder-strewn region is typical rattlesnake homeland. This time we're searching for the red rattler, and we're on the lookout for rocky outcrops with plenty of hiding places. This rocky landscape actually conceals a surprising number of small mammals, which makes up the majority of the red rattlesnake's diet. Interesting how the color of the rocks determines the color and the species of the rattlesnake found there.
This is a really good rattler location. Plenty of ledges. The sun is absolutely perfect. Keep an eye out for tracks too.
The rattlesnake sees the world quite simply. If it's bigger than me, I'm afraid of it, and if it's smaller than me, I'll eat it.
There! If it hadn't have moved, I never would have seen it. These things blend in so well. Have a look at this. This is exactly what we've been looking for. And she's full, probably got a chipmunk. Oh, get a bit of a rattle there. You're all right, you're all right. You're all right. Have a look at this. What a beauty. She's just eaten a chipmunk. Beautiful. Absolutely glorious. Lovely little rattle there. She's had a feed. Just sitting in the sun, all curled up. Typical rattler. Yes. This is what we've been looking for. She's beautiful. Notice the way she's curling up. And what she's doing, she's sitting out in the sun trying to warm up. Being a reptile, she's got to heat up her body to be able to digest. Now that's a big food item. Whack! She's hit it and venomated it. And then she's swallowed it down to her belly. It's sitting in there. Probably ate it last night or early this morning. And then it just has to digest. So once she reaches about 30 degrees Celsius, that'll be perfect. Blood will be flowing nicely and she'll digest that. Now, these just match the environment perfectly, absolutely perfectly. Not very grumpy, but once they get into this curled up position, you can't touch them, you can't get them by the tail. They've got heat sensing pits, and if I get anywhere near her, whack, she'll bite me really quickly. She's settled back down, and it's very important that I let her settle down because if she gets too stressed, she'll regurgitate that. And that's very unfortunate, very unfortunate. She's beautiful. You're all right, sweet. I'm going to leave you alone now.
After a successful hunt, a rattler can spend 3 or 4 days digesting their meal before they're back out looking for new prey.
And have a look at the lump in her belly. Boy, she's full.
To find another species, we have to move to slightly different terrain. You often find different species very close together, but that's usually because different types of habitat are right next to each other. A water flume is certainly not an environment for rattlers, but this one flows through prime rattlesnake country and can be a deadly trap.
This is a beautiful scrub type. It's coastal sage and chaparral. And it's endangered because of development. Great place to live. Now, we're here on this flume on a rescue mission. There's a great plethora of reptiles that live here, and this water, oh, it's quite cool to the touch. So reptiles coming out of the bush hit the water, start to cool down a bit, and they freeze, and they have a lot of trouble getting out. So we're scanning this waterway, this catwalk, and where it cuts across the hills, looking for animals that'd be trapped, particularly rattlers. And there's one species that I'd like to find, and that's the helleride. With any luck, we'll see one.
The flume and a nearby highway are good examples of how humans are spreading further and further into the natural home of the rattler. But even close to increasing development, we can still find good habitats for some species. Just away from the flume are plenty of good spots to search, and I'm always listening for that telltale rattle. They evolved their unique tails as a warning system against the danger of being trampled by larger animals with hard hooves, like buffalo or even deer.
Most times a rattler will try to escape rather than stand their ground and bite. When you hear that rattle, that's your chance to stay out of the way.
Like all rattlesnakes, the speckled rattlers rely on camouflage and stealth to ambush their prey. That means you can be right on top of one before he has a chance to rattle, and that's really dangerous.
Speckled rattlesnake. Now, these guys are normally pretty feisty. He's cool. He's very cool. Woohoo! Look at this. This is one of only 4 species of rattler found in San Diego County, and he's a beauty. Have a look at his coloration. It matches this granite to perfection. He's got his forked tongue out, working, sensing. Beautiful little animal, absolutely glorious. I'm going to take the risk of just showing you his tail. There's his little rattle. He is so quiet, he's not even rattling. This species is normally quite toey and nippy. Now, you might see me just gently handling him. Watch this. This is a risk that no one should ever take with a rattlesnake. I'm a professional herpetologist, and I've followed in my father's footsteps. This is a spectacular animal, and I'd hate to get bitten by a rattler. They hit, and they hit hard. They've got huge fangs, and I'm very lucky this one's very placid. Absolutely spectacular. Speckled rattler. I'll just let him on his way. Camouflage is really important to rattlesnakes. Birds of prey will predate on rattlesnakes, as will other animals. Without their camouflage, they get eaten. Back at the flume, we continue looking for animals that might have fallen in.
Some animals are attracted to the flume because of the water. They come down to get a drink, and occasionally they'll fall in and get trapped. Some mammals are able to grab a hold of the edge Oh, like if there's a bush or an overhang, then they can climb out. But some of them get trapped and go down for miles. This flume runs for 7 miles all the way down. They'll come down for a drink and, you know... Hey, Steve! There's a... I think it's a rattlesnake.
Got it. Woo! It's a Hellerite.
Wow.
Whoa! Here we go. Got another little smaller stick. Hey, little fella. Hey, good spotting, sweetheart. Really good. Now, this is the Southern Pacific rattlesnake, and it's a little beauty. Only a young one yet, certainly not an adult. They get pretty big. It's got a little rattle there, and he's so cold he's not even rattling. Now, these are a magnificent species, absolutely glorious, and he's in really good condition. He's obviously had a good feed of rodents, and he would have frozen, probably died in there, unless he could have hooked into some vegetation and got out. Now, this is great. Rescuing rattlesnakes. Not only will they die in here, but in a pretty short distance, they're going to get run over on the road. Now, they're called Crocodile viridis helleri. I'd like to think they're Hellerite because they're just hell on wheels. Normally, they're a very aggressive and nasty little devil. They'll just strike out at you, have a go at any given moment. But you can see this bloke's pretty cold. He's very cold. He's not even rattling. He's almost frozen. That water is probably too cold for a little snake like this, and he'd die, no doubt about it. Just gently get him by the tail there. Normally, you couldn't get anywhere near a little Helleri because they're just too aggressive. They are. They're hellish little snake. And they've got quite a powerful venom. It's a combination of toxins which really do some heavy-duty damage. It's a hospital job. You get hit by one of these, it's hospitalised. And even at this size, they would deliver a very powerful, if not fatal, bite. Rescuing rattlesnakes, yes! Good stuff. Now, what we got to do is, we're going to have to take him away somewhere so as he's nowhere near this flume and nowhere near that highway. You can hear the cars zipping past. If he didn't fall in there, odds are he'd get cleaned up on the road. So, let's just see. Pick him up. Come on, little one. There he goes. There's a little snake. Come on, little one. Good spotting, Ted.
It's time to move east and meet some of the biggest species of rattlesnake in the country. Within a few hours' drive of the American capital, Washington, D.C., we're traveling right through one of the most incredible rattlesnake habitats you'll find anywhere. We're about to explore parts of the Appalachian mountain range that runs most of the length of the eastern United States.
This is really rugged country, and Terry will pick me up on another road after I walk through the mountains looking for timber rattlers. I was about to step into the biggest find of snakes I've ever made, and one of the most fascinating things I've ever seen in the reptile world anywhere. That's what I've been listening for. You're all right, mate. You're all right. Timber rattler. Fat as mud. Reason being, it's probably had its first feed of spring. Got a big belly full of ground squirrel. Now, these are a spectacular animal. Come on now, settle down. If it wants to get back into its den, it doesn't like me one little bit. Just wants to go back home. In 3 of the states where they used to be found, they're extinct. In 10 states, they're virtually classified as threatened or endangered. They're in a little bit of trouble. Down on the lowlands, they've been annihilated. There are virtually island pockets of them up here in the mountains. If you can imagine, in the state of New York, timber rattlesnakes, they were annihilated on sight. In fact, the government used to pay people to blow up, dynamite their dens. Well, things have changed. Now, they classify them as endangered. They're protected. And you can see why they are one heck of a specimen. Woo, one heck of a species. Have a look at that. Now, this is a very dark-coloured one. Coal black coloration. It's because it's right up here high. They're usually found 6,500 to about 10,000 feet high altitude, and that dark colour helps them boost up heat really quickly. Now, their scientific name is Crocodile horridus. What a wild name. It's like horrible or horrid rattlesnake. They're not horrible, they're not horrid, they're not evil, they're not ugly. All this snake wants to do is get back inside its den.
Timber rattlers can be really big, and they're classed as one of the more dangerous species. They've got very thick bodies, even among rattlesnakes, which are some of the heaviest-bodied venomous snakes in the world.
I tell you what, we've been to some locations and we're going to go to some other locations, but this is one of the hottest spots I've ever been to in the entire world. There's rattlers everywhere. Hey, there's a yearling. Look, right there on the ledge. I'm going to need a stick for this little bloke. Little rattlers. I dare it, get him by the tail, because whack, they'll bite you before you get a blink in. Look at him, little tacker. Woo! Have a look at this. This is my first baby rattler. He's only got a little button. Come on. Now, this isn't actually a baby. It's a yearling. Woo, 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 woo. Have a look at him. Just get him up here onto some level ground. You're all right, mate. You're all right, little baby rattler. They make me nervous, these little baby rattlers, because they're so flingy, they can actually jump right up and bite you. Whoop, he's going to do that right now. Now, what I want to point out with this little bloke is, have a look at his tail. It's got a couple of little rattles there. He's getting a little bit of a rattle up. And he's cute as a bug's here. Actually, he's not being aggressive at all. He's being very quiet. Don't bite him. There he is. Oh, he's going to make a run for it. So this is the smallest one we've found so far, and he's not even slightly aggressive. And I tell you what, he's in good condition. Let's put him back in his little house. Come on, little baby rattler. Now, where was he curled up? Oh, right here.
Early this century, timber rattlers used to be found in dens with more than 200 individuals hibernating together. And even now, you can still find a lot of them in one spot.
There's another one. Hey, this one hasn't even started to rattle yet. It's a brown one. Real brown coloration. Hey, what are you doing in there? It's got a big rattle too. Whoop. Whoop. Oh, couldn't get my hand in there. He turned around and had me for dinner. Hey, hey, hey. There's another one. How's that? 4 in one spot. Woohoo! Happy day. Have a look at this one. You're all right, mate. And fat as mud. There's a good little rattler. Now, this is the darker colour. Sometimes when you get up into the higher elevations, they'll get darker. It enables them to heat up a lot quicker. And this is a little fat female one. A little girl one. You know, the fascinating thing with the female timber rattlesnake is that they may only reproduce 2-3 times in their entire life. I've got another one between my legs. Just hold your ground, guys. I'm coming down there. Holy smokes, that was a little bit too close. That was way too close. Sitting right in between my legs. There must be 6, 7, maybe more timber rattlers, all dark coloration, sitting right in there. This is their den site. Oh. You're a funny little one. Having a bit of a go at me. This guy's starting to get a little grumpy, but I'm now between it and its den. You can't blame it. Oh, you're getting really upset. That's all right. You're all right, little one. You're a little dark female. As I was saying, the female rattler may only reproduce 2 or 3 times in her life, may only have 8 to 10 babies at a time. And so you start annihilating a couple of female rattlers and you're looking at a massive decline in population. I tell you what, there's plenty more rattlers around here. Let's get into it. Okay, now I'm within strike range of this timber rattler. Nothing comes wilder. We're out in the middle of the Appalachian Mountains, pretty remote area. This guy's just sitting there, he's staring at me, he could bite me right on the nose. But he's not gonna. I hope, through this adventure, I can touch people about the beauty, the fascination, and the significance of the rattlesnake in our natural world.
We're heading south, traveling to Florida for an encounter with the legendary eastern diamondback, the biggest and heaviest rattlesnake of them all. Like everywhere we travel, we're watching out for wildlife. There's nothing worse than seeing magnificent wild animals losing their lives on the road.
Oh, hey, little pygmy! Oh, you're a little pygmy rattlesnake! Look at him jerking around, and he's flat as a pancake. Let him all jerky and grumpy, and it's hot. It's pretty warm. Oh, you're all grumpy. Woo-hoo, look at him go. Quick, mate, you better get off the road. Go on, get off the road, hurry up. Quick. Go. Hey, how's that? My first pygmy rescue. These longleaf pine and palmetto thicket forests are critical to the survival of the eastern diamondback and a lot of other species down here in the southeast. It helps to know the habits of any wildlife you're trying to find, particularly with rattlesnakes like the eastern diamondbacks. They've evolved to share the burrows of another animal, the gopher tortoise. Let's split up, but keep an eye out in front of the tortoise burrows.
Okay.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Have a look at this little beauty. What a champion. You're all right, mate. You're all right. Here it is. The icon of rattlesnakes. Largest rattler in the world. Now, I need to get him onto some ground up there where I can deal with him. Come, mate. You're all right. I'm just going to try and very gently persuade him to move off. Come on now. I can't get him as he is. He's all curled up in a strike position. Come on, buddy. There. Ooh. Come on, mate. I can't talk about you till you move off. Away you go. No. Whoa. Notice that strike over half the length of his body. Come on, mate. Getting curled up in these weeds here. Whoa, look out there, little bloke. You're all right. You're all right, mate. You're all right. You're all right. Have a look at this little beauty. This is the ultimate rattler. This is the eastern diamondback rattlesnake, the largest rattler in the world. They can grow over 6 feet. In fact, there's a record of an eastern diamondback almost 8 feet in length. Shaking, holy smokes. It's taken me all my life to get here. Gonna have to let him go, he's curled up. He's got a track on me. Oh, you're rattling, you're a funny snake. What a beauty. He's really dark, very dark. These guys are like ambush predators. Now, I find rattlesnakes absolutely beautiful animals, but I believe, I've been told by the experts that have spent all their life with the eastern diamondback, that they're a naturally non-aggressive snake. You could walk straight past them, won't even rattle. They'll sit there and they want to run. They don't want to stand and fight. They want to get away, back down into their stumps, or in this area, back into their gopher tortoise holes. This is the icon of rattler species. Whew. Have a go at this. When he puffs himself up, he gains about 1 inch in height, and he's trying to show how big he is. I'm big, I'm tough, I'm noisy, I could strike at any moment. Although I don't think he's gonna. Have a look at the head. That is the wildest looking head. Big, arrow-shaped head with those massive venom glands. And they've got a stripe coming back across their eye. That is really important. That almost disguises their eye and it helps camouflage their head. They're basically diurnal, hunting during the day, so they'll sit in camouflage and wait. Animal comes past, can't see the eye like a bandit. Boom! Hit! Dig the fangs in right into the chest cavity, huge delivery. Animal goes a little bit, drops dead. They'll locate it with their sense of smell, their forked tongue, take it down. The wildest thing is the size of their fangs. In Australia, our snakes have got tiny little fangs like this. Rattlers have got huge, great, independent moving syringes. They're wild. When they hit, they'll go straight into the blood system. With an Australian snake, with an elapid, they'll just brush the surface and it goes into the lymph system. Ooh, he's getting cranky. He's puffing up. How's the way he sticks his tongue back over the top of his head? Woohoo! I can't believe it. Eastern diamondback rattlesnake. There you go, big fella. Woo! Well, I hope I've helped to boost an awareness and a little bit of love for North America's venomous snakes, particularly the rattlers. You beauty.